welcome to CineMike. For this episode, I'm going to be reviewing Ghost in the Shell, the live-action adaptation of the 1995 Japanese anime of the same name, which it itself was adapted from the manga series of books. The film is a vehicle for Scarlett Johansson, whose casting had some controversy with fans who accused the movie of whitewashing. The movie is about a future where the line between humanity and cybernetics is blurred. Most people are augmented, and Johansson plays Major, a woman who's a breakthrough because she's the first of her kind. She has an all-synthetic body with a human brain. She works for Section 9, which is an anti-terrorist task force which is tracking down a killer who's targeting members of the cybernetics company Hanka. I think is how it's pronounced. The deeper that Major digs into the motivations for these murders, the more she begins to question who her real enemies are. Normally I would break down my thoughts about this film into good and bad, but this time the things that I like about the movie are also some of the things that I dislike about it. Scarlett Johansson is convincing at action. She's proved herself in the genre in all the Marvel films as Black Widow, so we know that she's good at that stuff. And later in the film I think that her performance gets a lot more layered. However, she is also very plain and reserved through the majority of the movie. And yes, you can argue that that's a character choice, but it certainly doesn't make for a very engaging character to follow. Pilou Asbæk plays her loyal partner Batu, who is one of the more enjoyable characters to watch in the movie. And I always thought that he elevated the scenes that he was in, and I liked his chemistry with Johansson. The visuals are impressive, with a massive futuristic city that's populated by a variety of cybernetically enhanced people. Some of the little details in all the, environments and settings are fun. Though I do feel that some of the giant holograms throughout the city are a bit random and don't seem to represent anything. Like, it would make sense if they were advertisements, but they didn't really seem to be. And also, I wonder how there aren't car accidents at every street corner with all these holograms over the streets. It just seems like, you'd be driving along and then suddenly, there'd be a jogging hologram beside you, and you'd be like, oh shit, and then you just crash into something. I don't know. But anyways, the visuals are pretty cool, but they're also leaning heavily on the talents deployed on past films. If you take the visuals of Blade Runner and marry them to the story of RoboCop, then this movie would be their child. The story is very predictable, and the trailers seem to make no attempt to hide that. I don't even know how you can spoil this movie. It plays exactly how you'd expect. The beginning is more of a murder mystery, and it feels pretty dry, and at a certain point, Michael Pitt pops into the movie as the terrorist Cruz. I thought that he stole the scenes that he appeared in. He was pretty good, and I like the choice of having his speaking voice glitch and stuff like that, like he'd repeat certain words and stuff. But from this point on, things are still predictable in the story, but they are at least slightly more engaging. You get a couple of nice moments where Major is seeking out her humanity, and there are some cool action scenes, especially going into the end, but nothing is mind-blowing. All in all, the movie does its job fine, but like so many other films recently, it doesn't strive to be fresh or innovative. It just feels like filmmaking is set on autopilot for the most part these days, and studios just seem to want to stick to what's proven and safe. The days of taking risks and creating fresh work seems to be going extinct in the industry, unfortunately. If this movie had come out maybe 20 years ago, then I might have thought it was good, but in present day, it's a movie that I feel like I've seen a dozen times before. So on a rating scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the very best that this particular movie can be, I'd give Ghost in the Shell a 7. And that's all I've got for you this time. Click like if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to comment below. Tell me what you thought about the movie. I also welcome you to subscribe to the channel. So until next time, this is Mike, signing off.